of challenges, but that is taking its toll recently on Nigerians, where so many people are passing through so many things. And I don't know how to put it, whether the government is trying to help or not trying to help in any way. But whatever happens, we'll be here to help each other. And that is why this morning we have come to talk on a very pressing topic: persisting economic hardship, dealing with mental health issues. My name is Nonye Nwokoye, and my co-presenter this morning is...
I am Immediate James.
Okay, thank you so much, my dear.
You're
You're a
welcome,
youth corps member
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
Anambra Broadcasting Service.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now we have a guest in the studio. He is a UK-based consultant, clinical psychologist. He also consults at Live Unto God Rehabilitation Center, Newe. Join us to welcome Mr. Ndubego Hugh Izuchukwu. You're welcome to the studio.
Welcome,
Thank
sir.
you so much. I'm very grateful.
It's a good time.
Because you're welcome.
All right. Now, I know you, in as much as you are based in the UK, you're a Nigerian, and you hear what is happening. You see what has been going on in Nigeria. So, how would you describe the mental health situation of some Nigerians in this critical time?
Yes. I thank you so much for this opportunity to say out something that has been bothering me, especially this issue of mental health. Mental health has been the major issue that people don't know the meaning. So it makes we do not give the appropriate meaning to the mental health and also the situations we find ourselves. No country is free of all these problems. The families, even the rich people have also problems, but your attitude, the attitude of Nigerians to the situation is the biggest issue. You know, our attitude to life, our attitude to our health, our attitude to whatever we do is the biggest issue. And that makes it look as if there is something special about Nigerians, about the world we find ourselves. So that is the main issue. So they're all the same, but we have to have proper orientation towards our attitude to life.
Okay, sir. So when I actually looked at the meaning of this topic, I really, I was so educated because there was something I thought was mental health, and apparently that's not. Because mental health for me was, I thought it was mainly for people who are maybe on the street, like mad people. But then looking at it now, I don't know, I'm so enlightened. So I want to ask, what are the early signs of these mental health issues? What are the first things that you can see? And then you can say, okay, fine, this person is going through this illness.
Fantastic. You see, we have early warning signs of mental health problems. Now, normally, let me say just universal. Normally, people are so free, enjoying themselves, but at the time you see some changes in behavior. Some changes. The person may be laughing, somebody will be so sociable, you see the person laughing so much or laughing less. Coming out less, what we do, then this is the first one. There's no problem. Then the third aspect, first of all, the person is so good, normal. The second one, you see some changes, especially women who, let me show to you, because women are more prone to mental health problems than men. You see, when women have very good jobs, they are the mother of the house, they are most of them breadwinner. Most of the time also, they go into the workplace to meet with men who feel, I'm the man of the, this man somewhere. So you see double challenges, stress. So this woman has been so happy that she has got a very nice job doing the job well. The second aspect, you see that this woman is lacking in certain things. Maybe does not come home early. A lot of changes will start coming in. So this changes the attitude. The attitude to these changes is very, very important. So the third aspect is when things start changing. The husband must know. The woman must know. If you don't know, burnout will start coming in, what you call burnout. You see, stress brings burnout. Then in continuation, this person will start feeling, I'm not doing well. I'm not handling the situation well. The woman will start feeling so inside her that she's not handling the situation well. When some of them start thinking of what do I do to measure up, you see them doing extra more than they're supposed to do. Okay. Doing extra, doing it to manage to, to cover up. In psychology, we call them defense mechanisms. Okay. You start introducing so many things that will make you to cope. Those things, coping behavior, some of them adapt to it. Some of them find it very hard to adapt to their defense mechanisms.
And that is where the problem lies.
That is where the problem lies. I'm giving you an example with women. It happens to all aspects of the society, including our youths. I like you to, our youths.
Okay, I think we'll get there. But now, how does long-term economic hardship, because when we talk about persistent economic hardship, during the course of our press review, there is something that the guest said that really touched me. Things kept rising, inflation here and there, but the people that get strict pay, like the people that are being paid 30,000 naira minimum wage, nothing has been done for the past 3, 4, 5 months. And NLC is still battling it today. So now, how does that long-term economic hardship impact an individual's mental health? And what are the common emotional challenges people face in such situation? Because children doesn't care whether you have it or not. You must provide in the house.
Yes. After everything, that's so good, it comes to the what? To the waist. That you are dancing so good at everything, the West is suffering. You see? So you are giving somebody 30,000 as minimum wage. The transportation alone is 25,000. Must go to work and come back. There are some factories that owe people up to 4 years. There are some factories that owe workers for 4 months.
Over a year.
The same, 4 months, we just say 4 months. But this person is eating. This person has a wife. So you see that most of the time, you see that women take up responsibilities in most families because the men cannot cope. So there is anxiety. Now, when you talk of mental health, there are 2 types of, you said something about
early signs.
You have mental health and physical health.
Okay.
There are 2 types of health we have, mental health and physical health. Mental health permeates so many diseases because the physical health, you can see it. When I have eye problem, you will see it from by looking at me. When I cannot breathe well, you know. The doctor will go to my heart, will give me drugs I will take. But mental health, you don't find it where it's mental. When they say 4 times 4, somebody will say 16. It's mental. That's So when something when there's a disorder from the mental something, it's very, very hard to define. So you see that a lot of things come in to determine how healthy somebody is. Look at this, somebody who is suffering from cancer is in the hospital. The cancer has physical problems, so it's a physical something. But that person now knows my breast is going to be cut off. I'm going to lie on the bed. Somebody has to be taking care of me. Somebody has to be cleaning my body. Look at that private part you don't want any person to touch. Now every idiot will go there. You see a lot of things. So that is how mental health problems escalate physical health problems. So you see that they are intertwined, mental and physical health. But when you talk of now only physical health, forgetting that there is a kind of relationship between them, you see that the early warning signs, you don't know when they move from one area to the other. So this is the problem with a health problem in Africa. We have refused to understand the interrelationship between mental and the physical health and these early warning signs. Now I want to say something. Early warning signs depend on the individual. When I talk to people in the clinic, I tell them there are certain things you will do that people will know that something is coming. Mental health is coming back. Mental health problem is coming. Some of them will start blinking. Some of them will be talking too much. Some of them laugh too much.
For somebody that is not used to talking too much, right?
Yes. So you see, then in the offices, like these people you are working with now, you know them, and they know you. There are certain things you do. They say, Madam, Madam is changing. Early warning sign. If you say, no be problem, now make no worry. But Madam is entering from one stage to the other to another. So we need to understand ourselves. That is my advice, that you look into the behavior of your colleagues. When you see changes, please don't say it's normal. Find out, because this person may be moving from one stage to another.
So you can arrest it early.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
But that's early warning sign to arrest it. That is the most important thing in mental health.
Okay, sir. So now let's look at coping strategies. Considering people who already have this mental health illness now, what are the things that we can do to actually help them, especially now that, the prices of goods are on the high side?
Very good. Now, number one, the easiest is that you be your brother's keeper. When you see people with, maybe you see somebody crying, a very well-dressed woman, like, please, unconditional attention. Approach the person. Do not run away. Do not say, wait because of me. No. Approach the person and give unconditional attention. Unconditional. The person may not trust you to release what he or she has in the mind, but at least give the person attention. Approach the person, then give advice. Give advice. If you cannot give proper advice, please now recommend or something. Now, we psychologists, we talk of being able to study yourself. So this is what we do in our Life Unto God's Rehabilitation Center. My approach to everything is that I give you opportunity to study yourself, understand yourself, so that you can be able to predict what you can do and what you cannot do. So I say all this to make sure, studying, I say we are now studying you. I'm teaching you how to study yourself. I now teach you how to understand yourself. I teach you how to predict what you can do and what you cannot do, because you take care of the early warning signs also. Now, by so doing, you tell people, when I start behaving so way, please
call my attention,
or tell so person that this man is behaving
funny.
Yes, funny.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I think we need to come home a bit.
Yes.
We are in Anambra State, and we are not exempted from what is happening in Nigeria.
Yes.
So everybody actually is feeling it, so to speak. And now children are going back to school. Some, I think Delta started school last week. Anambra is starting the coming Monday. And all the pressure on the parents. We've seen a lot of students take to streets, protesting against hiking their fees. And all these things, you shout, you cry, and nobody is responding or trying to make amends or turn things around for your sake. Now, what should be our reaction or our attitude towards what we are seeing today, so that we can help ourselves as individuals and as families?
After all said and done, the problem now boils down to be your brother's keeper, because we understand the situation is universal. Is universal.
But today, people are no longer brothers keepers.
Yes.
Everybody, or your yes.
The government is even milking the people in order to, one of the people living in my house has not been able to pay his rent. I said, what is happening? He said that the government is not paying the contracts. He used his money to buy a lot of things for the government, but they have not paid him back. So our attitude to government and the government's attitude to the people is the biggest problem. Now, Nigerians are gullible. We are vulnerable to bad leadership, to do something. There's something we feel that something we can do, but there is something we can do. Because when people come for election, they say we do this, we do that, we do that, we do this, we do this. Now go back to the person, this you promised. Well, how come you're not doing it? How come you are not doing it? What is it? Tell the government what you want at the initial period, and if they don't do it, promise them that you are going to vote them out. Promise them that you are going to vote them out, and you do it. So because we are so gullible, so vulnerable to bad leadership, and when people ask me, why is this so? I say it's because of our attitude to authority. We respect authority so much that we don't tell them the truth. We don't tell the authorities the truth. If you tell them the truth and they know they say the truth, they will respect you. But here, every person is looking for his own benefits. What benefits me is what I talk. What does not benefit me, I don't discuss it. It's not my destiny. That is the biggest issue. So parents are not going back to school. The children are going back to school. It's not affecting every person. Those who are not interested will say, what it concern me? But the teachers in the school are going to suffer it. But those teachers too, they pay them, they don't pay, some of them are being owed for so many months. They have children also. You see, there is a kind of decay in the society. There's a kind of irresponsible relationship. I say abroad, how dare you not pay teachers? How dare you not pay teachers, police, anybody, any person who works for you, you pay the person at the end of the month immediately. Why shouldn't you? You dare not. You dare not. I live in UK, I live in Germany, I live this. How dare you not pay somebody? If I stay here for 1 year, I'm not going. If this kind of this, I'm not going to work for anybody, because I can't imagine myself going to work. You don't pay me. You can't do that.
Okay, so,
you can't do that. But that is the situation. That is the situation here.
Okay, so earlier you talked about being your brother's keeper and showing unconditional love. So I want you to, do you have any story of how you were able to, show this unconditional love? Because in the 21st century, I'm going to boil it down to, a girl child. When you talk about being your brother's keeper, it's now, there is this quote that they say, scratch your back, I scratch my back. And because of that, people tend to, do a wrong trade by barter just because, they are facing this kind of hardship. So can you tell us a real life story of someone who went through mental health issue and how you were able to, show a brotherly kindness to this person?
Okay. There are so many cases. I handle them almost every day. Almost every day. I see at least 4 people every day, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20. But I don't know if to start giving you case studies or something, but...
Can you use one?
Okay. Okay. The most immediate one, is a lady. She's been diagnosed of depression. I say, how do you know you have depression? What makes you think that you're actually depressed? He said that is what the doctor said. I said, the doctor said she has depression. I said, so you see that the impression, the diagnosis gives a lot of Sometimes the diagnosis causes illness too. The diagnosis, you say this person are having depression, that depression comes in, even if it's not depression. Okay. Sometimes they say you have schizophrenia. Sometimes you say you have this thing. It's just like telling somebody you have cancer. When there's only pain in the something, you say the person has cancer. So our attitude to diagnosis matters so much. So when I asked this person, why do you say so? He said, they said so. She said that once she knows is that she was raped when she was 7 years. So how does that have, what's the relationship between that and depression you have? She says she doesn't know, but because she has forgotten that, inside me, the letter say, you have forgotten, but you have remembered it now. Why did you remember it now? It is my business to find out that you were raped when you were 7 years, but now you said it out without me asking you. He says, okay, it simply means you still have it. This person is so isolated in the family, doesn't interact with anybody. In the school, in the college, you have no friends, no nothing. Do you have a boyfriend? You say, oh, I hate boys. I hate, this kind of something. Drug cannot help you. So they've been giving her antidepressant drugs and everything. As I say, you say, are you aggressive? Sometimes he said, no, I've never been aggressive, but I stay on my own. I don't talk, I don't interact with people and everything. It's okay. So now you have to approach the causes of behavior, the cause of any situation. Why is this person behaving this way? Cause. There's symptoms of the cause, which psychiatrists handle with drugs. The symptoms are handled with drugs. Then the effect of the causes, the effect is that she isolates herself. Why do you isolate? I don't know, but that is the way I was brought up. That is the way I was brought up. It's my listen.
Okay, now, if you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Anambra. We are talking persisting economic hardship, dealing with mental health issues. This program is audience participatory. We have an expert in the studio. You can call with the telephone line on the screen to ask any question or make contributions where necessary. And we have in the studio our own brother, but based outside the country, speaking with us on this issue at hand. Now, I don't know, let's quickly take a short break here to bring in views from the people on the street. We'll be right back. Let's feel their pulse.
A lot is going on in the country. It has caused some persons who are not able to carry on or weather the problems in the country to fall into mental health disorders or depression. So, government on their part should be able to establish facilities where people with mental health are taken to, so that they will be taken care of and rehabilitated as soon as possible, so that they will be taken off the street.
The current hardship, economic hardship in the country is actually affecting a lot of people, both in the society, in the church, in the world at large, and it's really affecting the mentality of so many people, that many people are now depressed, and some people, as a result of frustration, they have actually gone into stealing, kidnapping, get quick, rich quick syndrome. And I think that one of the ways that we can help us is to that I want to appeal to the government, both the federal government and the state government, to help to alleviate the suffering of people by providing palliatives that will help them. And also I want to also encourage the church leaders to also help people to understand that even in this hard time they can still find solace in God, that God is the hope, the only hope we have to survive in these hard times.
It's for government to build institutions that will pay attention. There is need for psychological attention. You know, when someone, in our country, we see someone begin to gradually break down in mental health. We see the person keep eroding in his health until the person goes to some extent of full-blown madness. At that early stage, when the person is degenerating, if family can hold the person, and if there is a facility provided by the government with professionals to attend to such people, then instead of having them roaming about in the streets, they can be confined in that environment and professional attention be given to them.
If we educate them, I think it will help. And if you have little things we can give to them as an offering, so that they will use to managing their life, I think it can better ahead. If they can, as in, look into it, the situation of this country, and they make things a bit easier and better, I think it can reduce the problems of this mental of a thing.
Good to have you back in the studios of Good Morning Anambra, talking persisting economic hardship, dealing with mental health issues. We know that a lot of people are battling this. You may not know, you may not understand, but I think it's time we begin to look inwards. It's time we begin to check out our friends, our relatives, our neighbors, our colleagues, to find out actually what is going on with them. All right.
Okay, so sir, earlier you were talking about how you tried to help a girl who was raped at 7. She's so isolated. So how were you able to do that, sir?
Yes, the major issue is to enable this person to understand herself, why she behaves the way she does. So she has forgotten that rape. She has suppressed it. It's no more apparent. I said, but you remembered it now. I didn't even ask you. You told me that you were raped when you were this. It's okay. Now, to help her, it's not an issue of drug, but to uproot the cause of the problem.
Okay.
She lost interest in men because that first experience of sex by force, it was so painful. At 7 too, 7 years, you know the meaning of that, you know. So one is that she lost interest in the family. The family was not able to protect her. The mother goes to business, the father leaves the house, so she was alone. She was when that person came in and did that thing. So it affects the family relationships. Because I asked her, how is your family, how's your brother, sister, how do you relate to them? He said that every person stays in his whole room, that she's not interested, you know. So don't you think it's because of that fear that the family cannot protect you? Or that the family, he said she doesn't know. Then we started discussing all these issues. How come? The causes of your behavior, the cause. So we try to study each person, to study, in order to make you understand yourself, so that you can be able to predict and control yourself. That is the essence of psychology. So that's why you call them psychological problems, emanating from what happened in the past. So this is complex post-traumatic stress, complex. So what happened in the childhood, coming up, you know,
In the
adult something, causing down depression, causing down a lot of things and everything. So you start, you know, so in my approach, so many psychologists have different ways of seeing things. So that is why it's called psychology. Every person has individual psychology or something. So what I do is that I try to, from my own point of view, using theoretical experiences of Sigmund Freud, all this kind of something that gave us this that enables us to study human beings from different perspectives. I put them together in a kind of integrative approach to studying human beings, to helping them, you know.
Okay.
So,
okay, now I will always say let's come home because recently there was this young woman that had to throw her baby into a river. God being so kind, the baby was rescued alive. Now we had other cases of you know, people that tried to jump into lagoon. And I think a few days ago, like yesterday or 2 days ago, a keke driver also jumped to park his keke and jumped into the river. Then in the case of that woman that threw the baby, it was found out that from her, she spoke, that she doesn't have money to take care of the baby. That was the reason she had to throw the baby into the river. And so many others that were not in the public view, you know. Now, what's the effect on the people around these people that are suffering or that are having a mental health issue challenges? What are and what do we do to help in such situations?
Yeah, most of the time we go medicine after death. Most of the time, like that person like that lady that threw her child. Baby. Why didn't you tell me that you cannot cope? I'm looking for a baby, a child. Why did you throw the one you have into this thing? Medicine after death. So that is why when you see somebody in this way, please approach. Do not wait for the person to commit suicide or to try to attempt suicide before you approach. I recommend this to every person, especially when I give mental health first aid training. This is one of the approaches that you approach people. Study the people around you, your family and everything. Try to investigate, look into their ways of life, their lifestyle, to know when they have problems. Then you intervene systematically. If you cannot give the person advice or something, recommend. Now, I want to say something. The federal government of Nigeria has now taken mental health issues more seriously by signing into law the mental health bill or mental health law. So I believe that with time, more psychologists, more psychiatrists will be trained in Nigeria to be able to assist, to make this law to become effective. I say that 80% of the people in the prison are not supposed to be there. 80% of the people in the prison have mental health problems. So when they go there, they now have 100% of the people there have mental health problems. Especially people in the hospital. So when the government or when the National Assembly put this mental health law into effective, then you see, then I also encourage my fellow psychologists in the universities. So many psychologists are working in the banks. So many of them are working, riding keke and all this kind of something. Please come in because you are the core. There is no health without mental health. No health without mental health. And the job of a psychologist, those who study psychology, to be able to come in. Lecturers in the university, I beg you to emphasize this issue more. We need more clinical psychologists. We need more guidance counselors in schools and everything. Well, by next week, I'll start going to schools to empathize with the students, talk to them more about this. Then the Parents Teachers Association, you need to give more attention to your children. Paying their school fees is not enough.
Even I don't know if there is anything organizations could also do, you know, to support their workers.
Yes.
You know, to mitigate mental health.
This is the biggest issue. Those are the same facing people like me. I'm comfortable in UK. I'm getting old, so they take care of me now. But here is my home. After everything, home is a home. So that is why we are here to contribute whatever, in whichever form. Don't pay me, I don't care. But let our voice be heard. That is why I'm very much happy with the ABS now. Talking to him, that's giving me the privilege to this thing. You know, it's so interesting. But the government should please know that mental health is the biggest problem facing Africa. Mental health is the biggest problem facing Nigerians. Go on the road, you see how people are behaving like animals. Go to the road, just go outside there. You see no respect for authority, no respect for the road, no respect for the road signs and everything. This is the area that the government should come in. You know, the government should come in to create the enabling environment for mental health to exist. The government has not done anything for mental health. Look at the bad roads. You don't claim the right of roads. That's me now coming here, I have a driver. I came with a driver because I cannot drive here. They will kill me because of the bad roads and everything. So you see that you have to create the enabling environment for mental health to flourish in Nigeria. If you don't do that, mental health is just theoretical.
So I want to ask you two questions in one. Way back at school, you know, it was a recent that I really understood the office of a guidance and counselor. I don't think I ever went there. So it was my friend who is now a guidance and counselor that was actually telling me what she does in school. And actually that's like her personal project. Now, I've seen a case in school where a student actually committed suicide because his CGPA just dropped and he had carryover. And then the whole day, the next day he had to drink sniper and then he was off. Now, I want to ask, how can we have access to people who are actually to mental health facilitators? You know, how can mental health patients have access? Because, like I said earlier, when mental health pops up in people's mind, you see a picture of a mad person, and then nobody wants to be identified or nobody wants to go to a psychiatric hospital for any reason. So now how can I have access now? So let's say, for instance, I have noticed that I'm going through 1, 2, 3, 4. Where can I go? And then will I have to be charged so much? Can you tell us the procedures of actually meeting you and getting to talk and then you listen to us?
This is fantastic. This is the major issue because I'm alone. That is why you heard me say, lecturers in the universities, open your private clinics. I've said this so many times. I started my life as a lecturer of clinical psychology in Nanya School University. That was 1991, 92. I had my private clinic too. I was lecturing clinical psychology in the College of Health Sciences, and at the same time doing psychotherapy in the teaching hospital, but I had my private clinic too. So I encourage, because we need more. I left Nigeria in 1995 because people were not, to understand the meaning of psychology was even very hard for people. I too did something, I nearly find it very hard. After giving people counseling and everything, I say, pay now. You say, how do I pay you because I discussed with you? because we just gisted, you want me to pay you. So forgetting my time, forgetting my internet that I went to school because of talking to you. So it is expensive, but at the same time, there is need for passion. We have to have passion in this relationship. So what you do is that we are going to, with time, we are going to produce help lines. Let me tell you what happens in the United Kingdom, where I live. In each local government, there is a place you call, there's access to IAPT, improved access to psychological therapies. If you enter the hall, you will see there are insurance people. Big hall with about 300 people with a computer, with telephone, just answering calls. Answering calls. Do you know what they do? If any person has any problem anywhere, the person will just call. Then somebody will assign, hey, handle this person. Guidance counselors, this thing. They give attention. The government should give attention to psychologists. Train more people to do this cognitive behavior therapy. Cognitive behavior therapy deals with the effect of your thoughts on the mind. Your thoughts, even that's what comes in your mind. Because what comes in your mind determines how you are going to feel and how you are going to behave. Sometimes it affects the physical body self. Here it again. What comes into your mind? I'm stupid. I'm poor. I'm not doing very well in my business. My wife is stupid. My children are not this. What comes into your mind, the negative thoughts, will determine your feelings to your children. Look at this girl I was talking to. There's this girl, her thoughts about herself. I was raped, this, inside, what she was having inside her.
The self-esteem.
The self-esteem. The self-esteem matters so much. So we need to improve our attitude to life. Our attitudes, the way you see yourself, what comes into your thoughts, into your mind, because that affects your feelings. Are you going to be happy? Are you going to be depressed? Are you going to start feeling pains? Depression causes pain. Please, my people, hear this. Depression causes pain, and pain causes depression. So that is why most of the time, when somebody is suffering from pains, they give them drugs that are antidepressants. That is why people who suffer from pains are given antidepressant drugs. And people who have antidepressant, give them drugs for pain, it will affect it. So you see, I'm not saying when you have pain, you gotta take antidepressant. Don't.
Okay. Okay. Now our time is fast spent, but I think I would want you to answer this question. What policy changes would you want to see in our state? Let's begin with where we find ourselves that could help to mitigate the long-term mental health impact of economic hardship at a systemic level.
At a systemic level means governmental, institutional, something, First of all, let's tell our people the truth. Telling the people the truth, give jobs to the youths. Give jobs to the youth. Stop giving them money. Give them jobs. Give them assurance. Do what will improve the self-esteem of our youth, of the individuals. Not giving them money. Money cannot improve your self-esteem. Money cannot do that. That is also, drugs cannot improve your life. What will improve your life is the motivated, that's give them the joy of contribution. People who came out from school and did something, create the enabling environment. Government don't give jobs. I've said it so many times. Government don't give jobs. Government don't create you job. Government only provides the enabling environment. Work towards light. Work towards good roads. The enabling environment. Then your youths, when you say our youths are lazy, our youths go for Yahoo, our youths do this, our youths go for this, you ask for it because they have to survive. You ask for it. So the government should look into these mental health reforms, mental health reform. Let us in Anambra State start it. The other states will copy. We start it from Anambra State. I was so happy when I heard that Obiano's wife created a mental health institute in Nteje or something. Now I came back, I asked of that something, they say it has been dilapidated, it's just a nonsense place. So it's so disgusting, so disgusting.
All right, we can go on and on, but I think that's the much time could allow us to take on the program. We'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Ndubego Hugh Izuchukwu. Thank you, a UK-based consultant, clinical psychologist, also consults at Alive Unto God Rehabilitation Center, Newi. Thanks for your time for coming.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Viewers, the policy accord, let's start growing. Thank you so much.
All right, from my colleague.
Okay, so there's something that he said that really got to me. He said, what comes into your mind determines your reaction. So pay attention to what you listen to and what you hear, because at the end of the day, you become what you eat, what you listen to, and what you spend your time doing.
All right, my name is Nonye Wokoye. Good Morning Anambra show returns tomorrow. Do join us then. Bye for now.